Your Excellencies, with your permission, I'd like to ask the audience to take their seats as we re-invite back to the stage the CEO for Kenya Airports Authority to continue with his remarks, and then we'll proceed.
Your Excellencies, we also welcome you to the podium. Thank you. Okay, I'm Henry Ogoe, Acting CEO, Kenya Airports Authority. Kenya Airports Authority is a government agency which is managing public airports. Through that process, we have a very big impact on the economy because we connect Kenya locally and internationally. And through that process, we facilitate trade, facilitate employment, and general economic growth. At the moment, the economy of Kenya is estimated at US dollars 100 billion. Aviation sector is contributing 3.2 billion, and therefore we contribute around 3.2% to the economy. But there's an ongoing work which is to get the exact, because it may be slightly higher than that. Now, in the country, Kenya has around 446. Let me just talk about airports. 230 are public, 216 are private. Out of the 230, Kenya Airports Authority is managing 22. The Kenya Defense Forces is managing 9. Kenya Wildlife Services managing 53. And State Department of Interior managing 146. Among the 22, we have Kakamega Airstrip, which was established in 1982. Sitting on 15.49 hectares of land. It picked up in 2011 as a very, very active airstrip, and it has a daily flight which is also connecting Kitale. It is, the runway is around 1.2 kilometers. It can accommodate an aircraft whose capacity is around 35 at any one time. It also has a passenger terminal building. Now, because of the improved business, we are thinking of expanding that runway to 1.4, and it will be forerun by some land acquisition so that we respond to the requirements of the region from an aviation perspective. To do that, aviation is demand-driven, so I'm very, very excited about this conference because we need to facilitate trade. Now, from the passenger perspective, and even from investments here, which will feed into cargo trade, so that we can have something which can be exported from this region and go a long way in improving the economy of this area and the entire western region. With that in mind, we are partners in business, and therefore we'll be requesting the county government to address a number of things to ensure that whatever we are doing is sustainable from a safety, security, customer experience, and economy perspective. So the first one is integrated land use planning. Airports must be connected to the CBD, or the Central Business District. So whenever you are planning you are doing your integrated planning on board the airport, so that the flow of movement is seamless. So that is one requirement which would require, and also for purposes of any infrastructure and other utilities, the roads, security, things to do with water, things to do with electricity. So that is why we need to be part of that planning aspect of the county government. Another thing is that globally, airports are becoming cities. They are cities within cities, so we call them a topolis. And that one can only happen if we have integrated land use planning between the county government and the aeronautical authority, so that everything is aligned. Another thing we will request the county government to do is in terms of compatible land use. We do see cases where county governments are approving buildings within the airport flight path, and therefore they lead to something called obstacle limitation, because it must be, the flight path must be very, very clear to ensure the safety of the travelers. and therefore we would request that within a radius of 15 kilometers from the airport, any approval needs also to onboard the Kenya Civil Aviation Authority, which is the regulator, and Kenya Airports Authority, which is the operator. And if we do that, we'll be having a very, very safe and efficient air transport. Another request we are putting through to the county government is with respect to siting of dump sites. Dump sites attract birds, and birds are enemies of aircraft. Birds compete with aircrafts. If I give you the case of Kenya, it is estimated that every year we lose around 4.2 billion Kenya shillings courtesy of bird strike. And that is not something which is a pocket change. And therefore, we would want to work with the county government when they are considering issues of dump site. I can see my friend Dr. Willie here. We are very, very proud of you for what you did at Kachok. And Kisumu now is okay. Mombasa, we are having a problem with a place called Mwakirunge. In Nairobi, we have a problem with the Dandora Dam site and Mihango. So we are just putting it across that going forward, can we move with, can we partner together and address that aspect so that we ensure that airlines do not incur extra costs courtesy of some of the decisions which we make. Another area is with respect to land use, availability of land. Going forward, the government may not be able to provide land and also provide resources for airstrip development. And therefore, we'll be calling upon the county governments who may be having aviation as a strategic anchor in their business processes to consider setting aside land which can in turn be used to expand on some of these facilities. And finally, I'll also be talking about the environment. From International Civil Aviation Authority, the year 2050 has been cited as the year when we are going to have net zero carbon emission, so that we take charge of climate change. And therefore, whatever we do within the airport environment and even from within the vicinity, we'll have a factor on whether we'll meet that target or not. So those ones are some of the things which, if we pull together, I think as a country we'll be in a position to ensure that we give you the services which you require from the civil aviation perspective. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Let's appreciate the CEO once again. Your Excellency is most welcome once again. We have had interesting conversations earlier on in the morning, and we just hope some of the interventions that we are having later on are going to be addressed sufficiently. But while we are still continuing with the program, I'd like to just interest you in some of the things that are going to happen later on in the afternoon. We'll have breakout sessions later in the afternoon. And so after lunch, we'll be having between 2 and 4 p.m. other breakout sessions. So what you should expect here in the Ingo Hall, which is the main hall, right here, will be unlocking economic growth, which is leveraging municipal securities for county financing. That is one. The other one you should be expecting later on in Italanyi Hall, which is the first one towards to my left, the very far end. That one will be a healthy nation, thriving economies, the role of health sector in the investment and development, and I'm glad that it is part of the Big Four agenda. I would call it the Big Four agenda of this International Investment Conference as enshrined in the program. Later on, same in the afternoon after lunch, we'll be having advancing investment, biodiversity conservation and nature-based solutions, which will be happening in Muitala Hall. Please be on the watch out for that. You should expect a representative from Equity Bank, my good friend Mr. Ernest Chitechi, with the Director of Corporate Services at KCIC, will be there. Ernest, I saw you somewhere. Ernest Chitechi from KCIC, just stand and wave Great. I saw you somewhere around there. And Thomas Coleman, the MD at Hydrox Kenya. And last but not least, digitizing education. How can Kenya provide equitable access to digital learning by 2027? This will be happening in Isolo Hall. This one will be led by Dr. Ruth Agesa, PhD, Chair the Education CECM Caucus and CECM Education in Vihiga County. This will equally have presentation from Max Donner, PhD and Managing Director at EIDU. Later on, we'll also have Digitizing Education by Pauline Kieleko, Digital Services Tribe Lead, Consumer Business Safaricom PLC. Other keynote addresses that are expected within that program later on in the afternoon will be Dr. Boniface Okoth, who is the CECM Education, Science and Technology in Kakamega County, and the guest address will be done by Dr. Elias Abdi Giallo, MOE Director of General Basic Education. And that should just, and that should just end our program later on in the afternoon. So be sure to see where your interests lie and be able to have yourself in either of those breakout sessions. We are awaiting an address by a representative from the Masinde Muliro University of Science and Technology. The Assistant Vice Chancellor should be somewhere around. We are just awaiting directions of the same. But allow me to ask the media team to just roll the documentary kidogo tu for the audience who are tuned in at home and also for us here for our consumption shortly. Please, media team.
Village administrative areas and 400 community areas. Kaipo 2024 is a big milestone for this county. We are trying to make sure that we create opportunities for investors, so that we can actually shape our future as Kakamega County. The areas which we are focusing on, number one, we have quite a number of opportunities. Agribusiness, value chains, we have opportunities of investing in tea industries. We also have set up programs where we are encouraging our investors to consider having various varieties, let's say of rice, even sugarcane, farming still an opportunity in agribusiness value chain. Of course, in crop value chain, we have opportunities in setting up processing plants for avocado, edible oil, sunflower, which will go a long way in supporting our county aggregation and industrial park, which of course is now an opportunity for our farmers to export some of those crop value chains. In terms of livestock value chain, again, we have opportunities that we have for dairy farming. In terms of buying the food crops, we also have opportunities in goats, sheep farming, pigs. Because Kakamega, we have actually taken pride in matters agriculture and food security. Healthcare, we have the only referral, level 6 referral hospital that is under construction. This will be a 750 bed capacity referral hospital. We have opportunities for telemedicine, which again comes a long way with technology. We also are showcasing opportunities for our investors to come and set up modern laboratories and other pathological centers.
Thank you. Thank you so much, media team, for the, let's appreciate the governor and the good work that he's doing in the county. I think I must tell you that Kakamega has one of the biggest numbers of bed capacity in terms of healthcare, and there's a lot more development happening within that sector. I hope the other governors are going to borrow a leaf and emulate the same, which is now why I'd like to invite the host governor, Kakamega County. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for FCPA OGW Fernandez Baraza.
Thank you very much, Master of Ceremony. Our Governor for Siaya County, James Orengo, who is here with us. A big round of applause for James Orengo. We have Governor for Bungoma, who is also the Vice Chair of the Lake Region Economic Bloc. A big round of applause for Governor Lusaka. We have our leader of minority in the National Assembly, who is representing our keynote speaker today, the party leader of ODM and Azimio, Mheshimiwa Raila Amolo Odinga, is represented today by Opio Wandai MP. Makofi kwake. We have the Deputy Governor of Kisumu County, Dr. Willie Makofi kwake. He is representing Governor Anyang' Nyong, and I'm happy that we have also been joined by our hosts, the Vice Chancellor, Acting Vice Chancellor of MUST, Professor Mutai Makofi kwake. I know yesterday we had a very tight schedule, and that is why we didn't have many speakers in the event of yesterday. That was the opening ceremony. Before I invite our hosts, who is the Vice Chancellor for MUST, allow me to recognize the King of the Wanga Kingdom. As you may be aware, it is only in Kakamega that we have the Wanga Kingdom. Peter Navongo is actually the current King of Wanga. Makofi kwake. Maybe can you just be upstanding, watu wajaona king vizuri. That is the King of the Wanga Kingdom. I know in the next 2 weeks he will be celebrating 50 years of being the King of the Wanga Kingdom. Mapigio makofi. At this moment, allow me to invite the Acting Vice Chancellor, Professor Mutai, to come and give us some opening remarks before we progress with our program. Karibu sana, Professor.
Your Excellency, the Governor of Kakamega, Mr. Barasa, the other governors present here from Siaya, Bungoma, and the leader of minority leader, Mr. Opio, the deputy governor from Kisumu, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Good afternoon, sorry. Good afternoon once again. Mine is just to welcome you to Masinde Muliro University. You are welcome to this great university. We are glad today that we are together in this international conference, looking at ways of which we can invest in this great county. University play a crucial role in terms of investment, or in terms of what we can do in this country, what we can do in this county. At Masinde Muliro University, we've been doing quite a number of research that has an impact within the community. Ladies and gentlemen, I encourage you to join us in celebrating this great day. As a university, we also encourage you that you will tell your students or the young one to come and join Masinde Muliro University. We have great programs here that are market-driven, such like optometry, which you cannot find it in any other university, such like biomedical sciences, which is offered here only and not in any other African countries. Ladies and gentlemen, with those few remarks, thank you so much and feel at home.
Asante sana. Another big round of applause to the acting Vice Chancellor. I think now we are feeling at home, having been officially welcomed here. Apologies yesterday, the program was beyond my control. Watu wa most najua mlikuwa na pressure sana jana, but at least nimelipa deni. I want to once again appreciate all our partners, all the local and international investors who are here, and all the researchers and business people. This is our second day of the Kakamega International Investment Conference, and I know in the afternoon we'll be having quite a number of interactions. So I encourage you at least to take advantage of any session that you can join in the afternoon in order to make the conference quite interactive. Just to pick up from what the CEO of KA was talking about, we have a lot of opportunities in terms of expanding our infrastructure. And I want to tell you, Bwana CEO, we are looking at beyond Moranda airstrip. We had a conversation with the President, and he's actually offered 300 acres at Shikusa so that we can construct an international airport. What we are going to do, this being a national function, we are going to have a conversation with the CS concerned in order to make sure that we progress that conversation, because for us to get Kakamega as a gateway to this region, we have to think beyond the current airstrip. And that is why, in his own wisdom, the President gave us an opportunity to expand the airport by offering 300 acres, which is part of the prison land that has 4,000 acres. So we carry forward that conversation with KCAA so that we can now go to the technicals. At this juncture, we want to have some few remarks from the governors who are here. We'll not necessarily have a round table. I'll give 5 minutes each starting from the governor of acting governor, not acting governor, really deputy governor. You know, we have the deputy governor of Kisumu, who is here representing his boss, Professor. Dr. Willie, can you please come for 5 minutes, just talk to our investors, tell us what is in Kisumu, what are the opportunities of investment, and then from there, we'll move to Governor Orengo, and then Governor Lusaka, before I invite Opio and I to give a keynote address on behalf of Raila Amolo Odinga. So karibu sana, Deputy Governor Kisumu.
Our keynote speaker for today is none other than His Excellency Raila Amolo Odinga, very ably presented here by the minority leader and Member of Parliament for Ugunja, the Honorable Opio Wandai. Allow me to ride on the protocol already set, but also recognize the presence of the host governor, FCPA OGW Fernandez Baraza, the Vice Chair of the Lake Region Economic Bloc, and the Governor of Bungoma, and of course the Governor of Siaya. I rise on the podium today on behalf of the Governor of Kisumu, who is in the US for work, and of course on behalf of the County of Kisumu. Allow me, Your Excellency, to congratulate you and the County Government of Kakamega for pulling off an international investment conference. Allow me also to congratulate you for all the businesses and the investments closed. The growth of Kakamega will definitely have an effect on her neighbors, and Kisumu is one of them. We also recognize that this county is a very key partner of the Lake Region Economic Bloc. And so as Kisumu, we can only wish you prosperity now and in the future. Now about Kisumu, the foremost investment opportunity remains the reason for which the city of Kisumu was founded. As you all know, up to the collapse of the East African Community in 1977, the economy of Kisumu revolved around the harbors and transport within the lake. Okay? And we still believe that the economy of Kisumu will rely heavily on what we call maritime transport and trade. The port is revitalized. We have a connection with Mombasa, at least with the pipeline. We have an oil jetty there. We have a shipbuilding yard in Kisumu. In fact, in the last 6 months, I think 1 year, we have had MV Uhuru 2 built and MV Uhuru 1 revitalized. So the transport within East and Central Africa through the lake will unlock the potential of the county of Kisumu. So every investment and structure is ready. We are hoping for a connection of the SGR from the county of Nakuru to Kisumu. With that, Kisumu is also developing the special economic zone. We already have companies that are already setting up camp there. And we have KEDA that is dealing in ceramics, and we'll be having med editors, which will be doing in pharmaceuticals soon. In the area of agriculture, we have prioritized the rice value chain. Our rice scheme probably is the biggest in our country, and so we are thinking about growth of rice all the way to packaging, value addition, and marketing. We're also prioritizing the cotton value chain, and we are not forgetting sugarcane. And I want to thank you, Your Excellency. In this university, sometime last year, we sat here to discuss matters of the sugar sector, and just last week, Kisumu participated in what we call public participation on that sugar bill. And we're hoping that once ratified, we will get the necessary investment in that sector so that that can as well be revived. We also have investment opportunities on the lakefront. As you all know, Kisumu is turning her back into the lake. We already have a local area development plan, and we are seeking investors in the different sectors to be able to realize that dream. And so there's a lot in Kisumu, but today is a chance for Kakamega. And I would like to stop at that point, but to inform you that we have our date with the investors and the international community sometime in June when we host our International Investment Conference. Congratulations, Mheshimiwa Governor wa Kakamega, for this.
Thank you, thank you. A big round of applause to Daktari Owili. Thank you for your very good remarks. What I want to assure our investors is in the Lake Region Economic Bloc, we have an objective of making sure that we have optimal utilization of shared resources. And that is why in this conference, I'm very proud that we have colleagues in the region who have joined us. At this moment, I want to invite Governor James Orengo from Siaya to come and make a few remarks. Karibu sana.
Thank you very much, our host governor, Governor Fernandez Baraza, and your team, our chairman or vice chairman of LREB, Governor Kenneth Lusaka, who was my boss in the Senate, Honorable Pio Wandai, the leader of minority, and the Deputy Governor of Kisumu, all protocols observed. And as been indicated by our host governor, will be extremely brief. First of all, let me congratulate you for holding such a successful conference, International Investment Conference. And I've been following it online. And we also hope in Siaya sometime at the early part of next year to follow your footsteps and hold a similar conference in the county of Siaya. Now, my starting point is that the people of Kakamega and the people of Siaya, we are really one people. We may be having different languages, different spaces, but to show you or demonstrate how close we are, where minority leader comes from and where I come from was part of the great kingdom of Wanga. So I don't know how the king lost his subjects and his territory in that part of Siaya. But it was not just the question of sharing languages and peoples, but I think we have had a great interaction. As I said, in most part of the counties in Siaya, particularly in Game, in Ugunja, Ugenya, you find homes where people are bilingual in terms of the local languages. If you speak in Luhya, you are likely to be understood just as much as if you speak in Luo. And even the names of some places and spaces, they are both Luo and Luhya names. Now, Kakamega, when you're doing well, and I want to say this without a fear of contradiction, when you're doing well, Siaya does well, because the waters that feed into our ecosystem, particularly the two rivers of Yala and Nzoia, they pass through Kakamega County, at least parts of it. And at the end of those two rivers, we have the biggest oxbow lake in the continent of Africa. And that lake is called Kanyaboli. And around that lake, Kanyaboli, we have other smaller lakes. So it's like a Great Lakes region within a Great Lakes region. So the potential for blue economy, both maritime in the lake and the water bodies in the rivers and the lakes that border Kanyaboli and Lake Victoria are enormous. So we, in our CIDP and our manifesto, we emphasize the blue economy as a centerpiece for our transformation and the development of our region and for the good for the people of Siaya. And this within the context of LREB, the Lake Region Economic Bloc. There is a great potential. And as we have that conversation, which has been continuous since the establishment of the Regional Economic Bloc, we are going to be able to benefit from the economies of scale. For example, with the county of Busia, with which we share parts of the River Nzoia and the Yala Swamp, is an area which has got a great potential for rice. And I've been told in many conversations that this region, which includes Busia, Kakamega, Kisumu, Homa Bay, and Migori, has the greatest potential for reducing the deficit that we have in rice. In fact, the potential for growing rice in this region is bigger than Mwea and all other areas put together in the region. So working together with Busia, we have put a rice mill along the lower Nzoia River irrigation scheme, which is funded by the World Bank. And because we don't want to have conflicting priorities where we can achieve some harmony and synergy by working together, Busia declared that they would not be in a hurry of building another rice mill because the rice mill that we have in place is good enough for the moment to serve the people of both counties. So we are looking forward to work closely with Kakamega to ensure that where economies of scale can enable us come up with projects that will benefit our communities, mutually. We should sit down and come out with bankable and sustainable ideas and projects. For example, if you go to a lot of roads which are within Kakamega, some of it end up in Siaya. And recently we were doing a tarmac road near Yala, and we stopped at the border with Kakamega. And for the local people, it doesn't make a lot of sense. So I know the governor knows about it. We should talk about it when we're doing our budgeting. We come out with a program where we make sure that traffic, both human and goods, should move around these counties unhindered. In Siaya, we have made agriculture as the anchor program. That key to our transformation for modernization and industrialization is agriculture, because for the moment until recently, we were not sure that we are endowed with minerals and other extractive commodities. But happily, there is a stretch of gold that runs from Kakamega into Vihiga into Siaya. In fact, the member of county assembly from Siaya, where that gold has been found, is here. So as you work and develop that value chain of extractive minerals and so on, we should again talk together and make sure there's no repetition in the kind of things that we want to do. Agriculture is key to us, and Kakamega is a market for us, just as in as much as Kakamega is a market, CI is a market for Kakamega. Finally, Chair, let me say this. I still believe that in this country, we do not have faith in devolution. Because if you go by the figures, it does not demonstrate that the people in this country has taken devolution seriously. In an economy where we are now collecting revenue beyond 3 trillion, and economies are growing and people are working at the grassroots in the counties, I cannot explain why in this age and time, 10 years after devolution, we are sending a paltry 490 billion to the counties, to 47 counties. It shows a lack of faith in counties as devolved units. Secondly, if you look at the key areas where the Constitution in its structuring has given counties certain responsibilities. Like now, I'm very proud that Kakamega is doing a level 6 hospital. If you look at the budget on health, it is a demonstration that we do not believe in devolution at all. Agriculture is devolved, and you look at the monies in that sector that come to counties as devolved funds, and as the Constitution says, once you have a mandate or a function, funds should follow those functions. And you find, even in agriculture, a lot of that money is still being managed at the national level. And one can go on and on. Even community health promoters, the national government is not confident enough with devolution to make sure that payments, not of wages, just stipends, that the national government would still want to play the role of paying stipends to community health promoters. So I think this is a conversation that we as Kenyans must have boldly to make sure that devolution does not fail. It failed at the beginning because on the question of resources. If we do not give counties sufficient resources, then devolution will not be a realized dream. Otherwise, I think the governor, you are doing very well out of a very difficult position, and therefore we wish you success. And I want to register the fact that CI has got boundaries with many counties, and we even have a maritime international boundary with Uganda. But save the maritime boundary, the longest boundary that we have with any county is with the Kakamega County. And for that, we must continue to be partners in this great journey. Asante sana.
A big round of applause to Governor Siaya. Asante sana. Before I invite Governor Bungoma, allow me to recognize the MCAs who are here, just stand and be recognized. Members of our county assembly, thank you very much, at least to my Akilisha assembly, my executive who are here, chief officers and CECs, just stand and wave because this is your function. Asante. We have our commissioner for CRA. She's here with us. Commissioner Dijanganyi, thank you for supporting devolution. At this moment, allow me to now invite Governor Kenny Lusaka. I know yesterday you spoke on behalf of LREP, but now you have an opportunity to tell us what is happening in Bungoma. Karibu sana.
Thank you so much, our host, Governor Barasa, our colleague, Governor James Agri Orengo, Siaya, our guest of honor, Honorable Pio Wandai, Leader of Minority National Assembly, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, of course, our host, Acting Vice Chancellor. Like you have been told, yesterday I spoke on behalf of LREB, but also allow me to recognize, yesterday we didn't have an opportunity to recognize the CEO, LREB, Victor Nyagaya. Please just wave, he's the one who's been at the center. So let me also welcome you to Bungoma County. For those of you who don't know where Bungoma County is, we are also neighboring Uganda on the slopes of Mount Elgon. And we are all the same people. We just, these boundaries that were put arbitrarily divided us for purposes of administration. But in terms of the region, we share quite a lot. And Bungoma County, with a population of about 1.7, is one of the heavily populated counties now in this region after Kakamega. And one of the areas that we are doing quite well is agriculture. So a lot of our investments will be in agriculture. We, of course, host one of the sugar mills, the largest sugar mill in this region, that is Zoya Sugar Company, which has been in ICU, is now in IDU. We are hoping that eventually it will get out of IDU and perform well. Just like the President did mention, I think we need to change the way we have handled the sugarcane industry. And this is a great opportunity for those who want to invest in sugarcane and look at diversification so that we're not only talking about sugarcane, I'm not talking about sugar, but other products, about 7 products that we get from sugarcane. So we want to invite investors to come. We have about one more factory in sugar industry, Naitiri, and we need more because a lot of our people now are getting into sugarcane farming. So that's a very good opportunity. We are also very good in coffee and tea. In fact, Bungoma produces the best coffee, which is used around the world to blend other coffees in Cheskaki area on the slopes of Mount Elgon. Therefore, we will want to invite investors to come so that we can also be able to process our coffee, because as we talk now, most of our coffee is taken to central Kenya for processing, and we have big opportunities to be able to process our coffee in Bungoma. We also have tea in Mount Elgon. Again, we would like to invite investors, because we can also have industries to process tea, one of the best teas that this country has in Bungoma. We also have getting into cotton and sunflower, especially in Sirisia around near Mount Elgon. But again, just like my colleague, Governor Orengo has said, we also don't want to duplicate what other counties are doing just for the sake of it, because sometimes we get a lot of pressure from our various counties to also do exactly the same things that, say, Kakamega, Siaya are doing. And then we end up having too many small things that are not making economic sense. So we really want to agree, for example, if we have a maize mill in, say, Tongareni in Bungoma, which neighbors Kakamega, then Kakamega also doesn't have to put up a maize mill just to appear like you also have one in Kakamega County. But then we can use the one in Bungoma and vice versa. The factor, the infrastructure that we have, again, cut across our county. So we'll also like when we improve on our infrastructure, for example, putting tarmac road in Birigidia area, we like then Kakamega to take over from there, also tarmac the other side of the Kakamega, so that it's seamless flow. There's no need of having a very good tarmac and immediately you get to Kakamega, you realize you're in Kakamega because you are now driving on a rough road. We will also like, and vice versa. So we would like to have that seamless flow as neighboring counties and actually as this particular region. Then again, Bungoma want to invite investors in terms of tourism, because many people only know tourism because of, in safari. If you go anywhere, they will tell you safari to come and look at lions, look at elephants. We have also pygmy elephants in Mount Elgon. And also we have what we call the maternity for the elephants. There's only one place where the elephants give birth. So those are tourist attractions. And therefore we can also have accommodation. The hospitality industry in Mount Elgon because of that, so that then we can build this circuit, the Western circuit, in terms of promoting tourism. We have Nabiole Falls, which is also very scenic, and we can also produce energy from Nabiole Falls. So we also want to invite our investors to come to that area. We also have real estate industry. We still have a lot of land. As we speak now, we don't have, we're trying to put up affordable housing, but we still need more investors to come and put up more houses, more housing unit in that in that part of Kenya. And we are, of course, we are very, very strategically placed along the highway to Uganda, and therefore we have a lot of opportunities. We want you to come, and I want to congratulate Kakamega for this successful investment conference. During my first term, that's those of you who don't know, I was the first governor of Bungoma, 2013 to 2017. I held also an investment conference, and we got quite a bit. I just hope that the MOUs that were also signed here will be honored, because now the whole world knows that a lot of money is coming into Kakamega. So if they don't own what they have said, it can become a political challenge. But I know that they will honor what they have said and will support you. And as a region, we really want to move together. When Kakamega grows, Bungoma, Siaya, Vihiga, the entire region grows. So karibuni sana Bungoma County. Asanteni, and may God bless you.
A big round of applause for Governor Lusaka. At least now you're aware that it's only in Bungoma that we have a maternity for elephants. Before I invite our keynote speaker, in the House we have the Chair of National Housing, Honorable Yusuf Chanzu. Appreciation, makofi kwake. Allow me also to recognize the President of the First Lady of Kakamega. She's here, Professor Janet Kasili Barasa. Makofi kwake, thank you. And because we have our key partners and sponsors who are here, Mheshimiwa Opio, allow me to give them 1 minute each, because it's important to recognize and also just allow our partners. I'll only allow 2 for now. CEO for Sonagy, Michael Loero, karibu for 2 minutes, so that you can tell us what is happening with our organic factory for fertilizer in Mumias. As you're aware, in terms of environmental response, we are now going organic instead of synthetic fertilizer. Because of climate change, I think all roads now go to organic fertilizer, regeneration agriculture, as opposed to what we've been used to doing. So karibu sana Michael, Sonagy, who are doing our organic fertilizer plant in Mumias, for 2 minutes.
Habari zenu? Mirambe. Yeah, asante sana FCPA, His Excellency Fernandez Baraza. And of course, the other governors here. I'll start with Ken Lusaka, Deputy Governor Kisumu, as well as Senior Counsel, Bwana Orengo. So Region Organics, who we are, is we are the largest organic recycling organization in East and Central Africa. Yeah, so in Nairobi, we collect about 200 tons of waste per day, which is about 10% of Nairobi. And then we convert that into organic fertilizer called Evergrow. And we distribute Evergrow to more than 20,000 farmers in Kenya. Yeah? So Evergrow, what it does to the soil is that it rejuvenates the soil. It gives the soil that microclimate that then increases the efficacy of chemical fertilizers. So it's not a replacement for chemical fertilizers, but it is a complement of it. Yeah. So in Kenya, our land productivity is about 1/3 of the global average. So it's very, very low. So we still have that room to grow. For those who grow maize, people do here in Kakamega maybe 13 to 14 bags per acre. In Kitale, guys are doing 20 bags per acre. There's somewhere that people are doing 40 bags per acre. Yeah. So at Region Organics, part of the Thanagy collaborative, what we want to do is to move everybody to the 40 bags per acre. Yeah. So the partnership that we signed with Kakamega is to really address three things, yeah, along the value chain. So on the left-hand side, we have waste management. I believe this is a very, very powerful story. So I've been speaking to your team, Bwana Governor. So together with Elizabeth and her team, we will ensure that we'll make Kakamega the best sustainable waste management, should I say city or town? Waste management town in Kenya. So that is going to happen, yeah? So, and then we shall collect that waste. We shall take it to a factory in Mumias, a place called Matawa, convert that waste into organic fertilizer, and then we shall sell that fertilizer to the residents of Kakamega, so that Kakamega can start edging towards the 25 to 30 bags per acre to make sure that we're not importing food into Kakamega, but we are exporting food into the other parts of the country. So for those brief remarks, asante sana. We'll launch in terms of groundbreaking. The facility will start running in Q2 of this year, and people of Mumias, we will come and we'll work with you. Asante sana. God bless you.
Thank you very much for giving confidence to our organic fertilizer plant. That is one of the responses of addressing issues of waste management, which is one of the thematic areas as a region you're focusing on. The organic fertilizer in Mumias is going to serve the entire Lake Region economic block. And as Governor Lusaka said, we don't expect another organic fertilizer in Bungoma. So that at least here, Kakamega, it can serve the region. We have a fish factory here, again, that is serving the region. And then we have agreed that the only maternity wing for the elephants is itakuwa Bungoma. Allow me to recognize ISPAC. Our chair is represented here by council member CPA Rispolik. Just stand and wave. Asante sana. Those are our partners in the profession. I know today we have lined up quite a number of MOUs. Immediately after our keynote speaker, we'll be signing 8 MOUs. And as my deputy said, yesterday we were targeting to sign over 20 MOUs. And then after that, we'll task our investment agency to make sure that those MOUs are implemented. At this juncture, allow me to invite the representative of Practical Action, who is also one of our key sponsors. Tim Mwangi is here. 2 minutes, tafadhali. Just come and tell us what is happening at Practical Action. I know most of the guests who have had an opportunity of visiting the exhibition booth, you can clearly see what the youth are doing. Makofi kwa Practical Action. These guys are really practical in terms of regenerative agriculture. Karibu sana.
All protocols observed. Good afternoon. My name is Tim Mwangi. I work for Practical Action as the head of programs based in Nairobi. But I would like to say a big thank you to Kakamega County. One of the things that we're actually doing with this great county is supporting the youth to take up agriculture as a business. And one of the things that we have been able to do with the leadership, the CEC, is ensuring that the youth are able to own land through lease agreements. There's a lot of unutilized land. There's a lot of public land that is available. I would want our youth to be able to take up these exploits to make business and market opportunities in shorter value chains where they can increase their incomes. So one of the things that we are doing in this county, we are also replicating the same in the 9 counties of the Lake region. But most importantly, I've seen Region Organics who are here. we'll be starting a big project on recovery of waste in this region. So, Governor, we are looking forward to establish this material recovery funded by the Danida project and recover most of the waste to be actually not only used for organic fertilizer, but also the other inorganic waste like plastics to be able to be utilized for recycling. So looking forward to participating in this big project and partnering with you and even the other 9 counties which are here. Good to see you, Deputy Governor Matthew Sawili. We've done a lot in Kisumu, same in Siaya and in Bungoma. So thank you very much, Governor.
Makofi kwa practical action. I also want to announce that immediately after lunch, once you are done with the side events, take an opportunity to visit our exhibition booth. There are quite a number of displays there, and it's an opportunity for you. In the house, I can see our Member of Parliament for Likuyani. This is the gentleman who is hosting the Kakamega County Aggregation and Industrial Park. And maybe because yesterday he didn't have an opportunity to speak, wacha nikaribishe Mheshimiwa just for 2 minutes, come and speak on behalf of the investors who are going to come to Likuyani. Likuyani is a very strategic sub-county for us. And again, just as Governor Lusaka said, the essence of industrial parks is to open up our boundaries. When you look at the industrial park in Bungoma, it is close to Kakamega. So our farmers will be taking their staff to Sangalo Industrial Park. The industrial park at Kakamega is close to Trans Nzoia and Uasin Gishu. And that is the essence of opening up our investment opportunities and marketing centers. Bwana Mugabe, 2 minutes before I invite our keynote speaker.
Thank you very much, Governor. That was a real ambush. I had not planned to speak today, but nevertheless, I would want, first of all, to congratulate Kakamega County and the Governor for hosting such a magnitude of event that has brought in investors from different walks. And I know from the MOUs that you're going to sign today, a lot will help to transform Kakamega County and the Lake Region counties in general. I also want to thank you very much for allowing strategically Likuyani to host the Kakamega County Aggregation and Industrial Park. From the location, you'll all agree that there was no better or strategic location for that park other than Likuyani because of the vast lands and the neighboring counties or sub-counties that border Likuyani, which makes it strategic for any investor to come there because he'll now have a wide array of farmers to engage. What I will urge is that we need to move with speed, of course, to have the investors in the industrial park to come in early and engage farmers. If they want to do contract farming, this is the right time to do it so that by the time we are done with the construction works, the investors can come in and they will have raw materials from farmers. We have the largest avocado tree nursery, I think, in the western region, located just near the park. And we're really encouraging investors in the avocado value chain for export, for extraction of of oil to come in and take advantage of this and help to sign in farmers in contract farming. Again, I've seen a project of USAID, the Hive, on honey. This can go hand in hand with avocado farming so that we can have honey production and also extraction and the packaging of honey from the park. Sunflower and other edible oils, again, is another area that we are really looking up to be developed in the industrial park. All these opportunities, I'm encouraging those who will be ready. Again, Governor will be available. They also visit the industrial park to see the opportunities that are there. On this, after looking at this conference, I know when you look at towns in Kenya, Kakamega is a bit off the main highways. Unlike towns like Eldoret, maybe Kisumu, Bungoma, Kakamega is off. For us to develop Kakamega properly, Governor, I'm thinking the meetings industry, conferences, can be a good bet for Kakamega. And you must start the conversation of having an international convention center here in Kakamega so that every week we'll be having such numbers of people in Kakamega. And it is something that is very doable. Kakamega has very minimal traffic. We have vast land. And having the forest here, it can be combined with the nature tourism. So really strategically think of developing an international convention center here, and will make our Lake Region counties to grow in a very big way. Thank you very much, and you're all welcome again to Kakamega.
A big round of applause for Honorable Innocent Mugabe. You know, one thing I like about Mugabe, he's always ready to say something about investments, because he's very passionate about the industrial park that we're establishing in Likuyani. The national government and counties are partnering so that we can provide opportunities to our farmers. We give them opportunities for marketing their products. And of course, the issue of production is quite critical. We can only grow our economy through production. And that is why, as counties, 47 of us, we are taking the issue of industrial parks very seriously, because that is the only way we can encourage our farmers to get a market for export of their products. There's a lot of opportunity in agricultural value chains. And of course, when you look at what the youth are doing in the area of regenerative agriculture, that is the way to go. Our county, in terms of allocation, we have given a lot of prominence to agriculture, because food security is extremely important. In terms of our GDP, 52% of our GDP is actually contributed from agriculture, and that is why we are very passionate. And for you to make progress in agriculture, environment becomes extremely important. And that is why we have some progressive initiatives to protect our water catchment areas. I know we have around 7 water catchment areas in the country. Kakamega, we are more concerned about Mount Elgon, our water catchment area, and of course, the Mau water catchment area, which make sure that our River Yala and River Nzoia, we get water. And for us to get sufficient water, we have a responsibility to conserve our environment. And that is why we have specific environmental interventions to deal with climate change. In Kakamega, we are very focused on fencing our Kakamega forest. This is the only remaining existing equatorial tropical rainforest in East Africa. At the moment, the forest is around 117 kilometers. We have done 15 kilometers of fencing. In the next 2 weeks, Governor Otichilo and I will be launching a program to fence 30 kilometers. We have already mobilized almost 100 million Kenya shillings, and we are calling upon our potential investors, environmental enthusiasts to support the efforts of the two counties, Vihiga and Kakamega, to conserve our forest. As I said, water, we have a lot of opportunities in water. We have a lot of opportunities in sewerage management, and that is why this investment conference, we want to sign MOUs and also have an opportunity of making sure that those MOUs are actually implemented so that we can have the impact that we wanted to have. Before I invite our keynote speaker, I want to sincerely thank all the participants so far. This is a good attendance. I want to appreciate our hosts, Masinde Muliro University, at least for providing us this venue. I know last year we were here during the Sugar Conference, and I can see that in the next conference, this is the place to be. We are going to make this an annual event. This being an inaugural conference, next year I will be having the second international investment conference, and you can clearly see that the sky is the limit. At this moment, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to invite, or let us all be upstanding, because this is a very big honor. Let us all be upstanding to invite our keynote speaker for today, who is none other than the Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga, who is represented by the leader of minority in the National Assembly, Honorable Opiyo Wandayi. Makofi kwake. Karibu sana Mheshimiwa Opiyo Wandayi.
Your Excellency, the Governor of Kakamega, FCPA, Fernandez Baraza, Your Excellency, the Governor of Siaya County, Senior Counsel James Agre Orengo, Your Excellency, the Governor of Bungoma and the Vice Chair of Lake Region Economic Bloc, Speaker Emeritus Ken Lusaka, Your Excellency, the Deputy Governor of Kisumu County, Dr. Matthew Owili, my colleague, the MP for Lukuyani, Mheshimiwa Mugabe, the Vice Chancellor of Masinde Muliro University, distinguished conference participants, ladies and gentlemen. My singular duty this afternoon is to convey the message from the Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga, who would have wished to be here in person, but due to other engagements outside the country, has not been able to make it to this conference. But before I go to the message, allow me to convey greetings and best wishes from my colleague members of Parliament, both in the National Assembly and the Senate, to the county government of Kakamega and the great people of Kakamega County. Now, back to the message itself. His Excellency Fernandez Baraza, Governor Kakamega County, distinguished delegates, and the business fraternity, I am pleased to be part of the first Kakamega International Investment Conference, which is a continuation of the journey towards making the evolution, deliver jobs, inclusive growth, and prosperity for our people. Congratulations, Your Excellency, Fernandez Barasa, for this exceptional initiative that makes it possible for the region to explore opportunities for leveraging its economic potential for the benefit of its citizens and the entire country. This conference underscores our long-held vision for economic recovery and growth. That is, the leveraging of synergies among the involved units and between governments and the private sector. That has been and remains our vision as a movement, and we are pleased to see our county governments implementing it. The high-powered presence here is a demonstration that potential investors take Kakamega seriously enough to want to sample its offers. I am sure there are investors who have already signed MOUs or are considering proposals with the county government of Kakamega. And they have seen how business-like this county is. Kakamega is among the top 5 largest counties by population, which provides both challenges and immense opportunities. By virtue of its demographics, Kakamega is one of the most important counties in this country. The population alone is an important fundamental of Kakamega as a prime investment destination. We are at this conference to explore the opening up of counties as the next frontiers for investment and development. That is perfectly in line with our vision for creating a country whose economy fires from all fronts and not relying on Nairobi alone to deliver to the people. Creating an enabling environment for the private sector to thrive is essential to complement the efforts of the county governments. In this regard, I appreciate some of the landmark initiatives that have kicked off, including the setting up of a one-stop shop for investors through the Kakamega County Investment and Development Agency. The will to deliver certainly exists here. I wish to share some thoughts on some of the areas that I believe are critical to the realization of the good intentions, not only of Kakamega County government, but literally all counties. However well-intentioned the administration here may be, not much will be achieved without stability and predictability. The county, indeed all counties in our republic, need to invest in the creation of a peaceful and stable political atmosphere that will encourage any serious local and foreign investor to come. Peace, tranquility, stability, and collaboration between leaders at all levels is critical to making a county a preferred location for investors. This calls for good, less acrimonious working relationship between county government and county assemblies, between governors and their deputies, and between senators and the counties. You must always realize that as leaders, you are elected to help our people to realize their hopes and aspirations. That requires disciplined governance clarity about what needs to be done, and going all out to do those things that have to be done. We must also pay close attention to the centrality of strong institutions in assuring good governance and service delivery that are critical to attracting investments. Strong county public services, strong county legal systems, strong and accountable county assemblies, and strong political parties. Of course, counties need revenue to be able to render effective and efficient services. We will continue to push the national government to release monies to counties in a timely and predictable way and in amounts provided for by the Constitution. However, even as we push the national government, Kakamega, just like all other counties, must seriously focus on internally generated revenues. Our aim must be to gradually reduce dependence on the national government exchequer funding. I wish to see this county emerge as one of the top 10 counties in respect of internally generated revenue in the coming years, but without putting excessive tax burden on wananchi. So it's a delicate balancing act. The proceeds of taxes should then be invested in ways that make the taxpayers see the justification for the taxes they pay. Taxes must lead to improved living conditions and the development of the county. Taxes must ensure that people don't struggle to provide for themselves or go without those amenities that the government ought to provide for the citizens, such as street light, roads, hospitals, schools, and so on and so forth. It is by using the internally generated revenue to deliver quality services to citizens that counties can justify their demand for taxes. There is a role for strategic collaboration between county and national government in all this. This collaboration should lead to the creation of an enabling environment for investment, beginning with the provision of critical infrastructure. Like in other counties in this region, energy and roads remain major cost factors and inhibitors for the creation of viable industrial activity in Kakamega. As we push the national government to fulfill its mandate with regard to provision of infrastructure, Kakamega must not stand still. I encourage the county to urgently embark on a multidimensional approach by working on both off-grid and on-grid solutions in collaboration with the private sector for purposes of power generation. At the same time, Kakamega needs to invest in off-grid solar capacity in small clusters in key commercial centers. We need to install standalone solar systems to power the various markets, shops, and enterprises across the county. We must go all out to make electricity affordable and accessible to our people. We need a dedicated emphasis on an intervention for small business clusters. Kakamega needs to do more with regard to reforms to the processes around the issuance of permits and the registration of property, particularly for small businesses. When investors make important decisions about setting up their businesses, they are usually greatly concerned with how easy a county makes it for people to do business. Counties that make it easy for investors to acquire land, register property, pay taxes, and access internet will have a head start. Those that make these things difficult or impossible will watch as the world zooms past them. I wish to see Kakamega in the category of those who made it easy. I therefore want to encourage the county to aggressively pursue reforms in the areas of starting businesses, acquisition of land for investment, enforcing contracts, registering property, issuance of permits, and payment of suppliers of goods and services. I want to encourage you to focus firmly on the future. And that future is actually already with us. A key driver of economic prosperity is competition within the county and among counties, which is why I keep saying that counties must collaborate and compete at the same time. You must aim at being the county of choice for investors. That means you have to aim at outperforming your neighbors in all areas that matter to investors. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, speaking of competition, it is projected that going into the future, cities, towns, and urban centers will be the engines of economies that will ultimately determine the fate of nations. Kakamega, therefore, must firmly place itself in the undeclared contest to oversee the emergence of towns and cities that can be important regional centers of trade and commerce in the coming years. With the strengthening of regional cooperation and the opening up of national borders across East Africa and even the entire continent, there will be even more room for towns to assert themselves economically. The race is already on across the country, and Kakamega must not be left behind. Kakamega must work to prepare itself to seize rapidly emerging opportunities, to ride on the waves of investment and innovation to become truly nationally and regionally competitive. In this regard, I call upon the national government to support the efforts of all counties to reform their economies, attract investment, and collaborate with one another. The days when the national government would seek to undermine governors and their administrations should be well behind us. It is in the interest of the national government to help every county achieve its full economic potential for the greater public good. Distinguished guests, you have heard and will continue to engage in robust conversations around governance, infrastructure, agriculture, fiscal discipline, tourism, mining, education, security, the knowledge economy, among other issues. I am confident that these discussions will throw up useful insights and opportunities for learning with a view to making devolution make even bigger difference. As we pursue opportunities for positive competition, let us not forget to emphasize the importance of collaboration between counties. We need to continually identify things that we can deliver faster and better on a large scale by operating under the auspices of the Lake Region Economic Bloc. I am confident that investors and businesses will leave this conference with increased knowledge about the opportunities for investment in Kakamega and the region, and with greater optimism for the future. I share with you that optimism for the future of devolution and wish you all the very best. God bless you. Thank you very much.
A big round of applause to the keynote address by our minority leader on behalf of Raila Amolo Odinga. Makofi tena. as we prepare to sign off some MOUs, which I will ask our county attorney to quickly fast track, because we have around 8 MOUs that needs to be signed before we break for lunch. First, I want to appreciate the keynote address from Raila Amolo Odinga. He has actually challenged counties to collaborate and compete. When you look at the theme and the objective of the Lake Region Economic Bloc, we really want to optimize the shared resources, optimal utilization of the shared resources. I think that is a challenge that we've been given, and I know with the support of the people in this room, we are going to make really counties as the new frontiers for investment and development. On matters on-source revenue, we are aware that we need to balance on terms of service delivery and also not overburdening our investors who are local investors. And that is why the main focus on on-source revenue is about diversification and automation. Once we improve on the efficiency and we optimize on all the revenue sources, I'm very sure that our targets for on-source revenue are going to be achieved. We have also been challenged to ensure that we have many municipalities which will become the epicenter for economic development and investments. In Kakamega County, we'll be establishing 3 more municipalities. Next month, I'll be issuing charters to Malava municipality, Matunda municipality in Likuyani, and Butere municipality. And then, of course, concurrently, we also have townships that will be quickly giving them charters, because we believe that that is the only way we can catalyze economic and investment opportunities in the county. On matters environment, solarization is key. I'm just making remarks so that the team for MOUs, you can come here. I don't want us to have a gap. Come Musha line quickly so that we can now quickly move to the signing of the MOUs. We are very pragmatic on solarization, and we are taking cue from the challenge of Raila Amolo Odinga on us to now go green energy, because mini grids, solarization is the way to go in order to manage our bills. I think on that note, really, I want to appreciate the strong message that has come from Raila Amolo Odinga, and we wish him the very best in his quest to become the next chair of African Union Commission. Makofi kwa baba Raila Amolo Odinga. Ladies and gentlemen, at this point in time, I now want to, first of all, I want to recognize the presence of our Deputy Governor, ako hapa, mtoto wa pastor. I know he was engaged in the morning. Our Deputy Governor Savula ako hapa. I can see Deputy Governor Vihiga, Wilbur Kitiezo. Makofi kwake, thank you very much. And now I want to hand over the program for the MOU signing, and then from there, we'll have our national anthem, and then we break for lunch. Thereafter, we go to our side events. Thank you very much for being a very good audience. Asanteni sana.
Your Excellencies, all protocols observed. My name is CS Vivian Baka Komonyo, the County Attorney. My duty is to take us through quickly the MOUs that are going to be signed today. We have 7 MOUs that are going to be signed, and the rest are going to be signed tomorrow. As alluded by His Excellency the Deputy Governor yesterday, we have 22 MOUs that we are going to sign to steer Kakamega County forward. The first MOU is a partnership agreement between Kenya Industrial Property Institute and the county government of Kakamega, and this is going to be executed by the CEC Trade, Industrialization and Tourism, Madam Rachel Atamba, and she will be joined by Stephen Ngeno, the Deputy Managing Director, Technical Services, Hibo Hussein Yusuf, Manager, Research and Innovation, and Amina Zahara Sigat, the Head of Supply Chain. And the MOU basically is to forge collaborative endeavors so as to ensure the effective and efficient enabling and promotion of innovation and providing industrial property awareness in Kakamega County. The second MOU, as they leave stage, is a memorandum of understanding between the county government of Kakamega and Bukura Agricultural College. The county government of Kakamega and Bukura Agricultural College. This MOU is going to be executed by the County Executive Committee member responsible for agriculture, livestock, fisheries, and cooperatives, Mr. Benjamin Andama, and our partners, Mr. Wanyama Musiambo, Paul Njogu, Roslyn Ambani. And this MOU is to synergize efforts to provide practical training in sustainable agriculture and related areas with a view to providing lasting solutions to unemployment, food security, and nutrition. This collaboration will also enhance and stimulate professional interaction among staff of two institutions and enrich professionalism by exchange of experience, information, publication, and materials. As they conclude on the execution, the third MOU, I will request the participants to take stage. The third MOU is a memorandum of understanding between the county government of Kakamega and Don Amolo Memorial Kids Arc Damka. And this MOU is going to be executed by our County Executive Committee member responsible for health services, Dr. Bernard Wesonga, and our partners in this are Dorothy Caroline Mabunde and Miriam Auma Taya. On this, the areas of collaboration are concentrating on setting up a sickle cell pharmacy to provide sustainability and availability of sickle cell disease drugs and other commodities. This is a critical step in ensuring that this group of clients will be well catered for within Butere Hospital and other MOH facilities within the county. Availability of these drugs and many other essential drugs indicated in the management of the sickle cell disease will, through this pharmacy fund, greatly reduce the cost of the medication these patients require to improve quality of life and reduce the risk of complications. The fourth MOU is between the county government of Kakamega and Kenya Marine and Fisheries Research Institute, and this is going to be led by our CEC responsible for agriculture, livestock, fisheries, and cooperatives, Mr. Benjamin Andama, and he is joined by our partner, Dr. Chris Mulanda Aura, the Director, Freshwater Systems. This MOU is keen on implementing various collaborative activities for the mutual benefit of two institutions for the furtherance of their objectives, including inter alia, integrating capacity building, research, production, and technology transfer to stakeholders, with the aim of increasing production productivity, initiating favorable policies, and strengthening capacity for national development. As they conclude on the execution, our next MOU is between the county government of Kakamega and investing in children and their societies, ICS-SP. This is going to be led by our county secretary, Dr. Lawrence Omhaka, and Dr. Lawrence Omhaka will be joined by our partner, Josephine Odhiambo, who is the program coordinator, Dennis Chirchir, the finance, human resource, and operations manager. And this MOU is going to ensure that there is that the two entities are working collaboratively on the implementation of gender transformative skillful parenting program on early childhood development and outcomes in the county. The sixth MOU, as they conclude, is between the county government of Kakamega and My Credit Limited. And this shall be executed by our county executive committee member responsible for finance, budget, economic planning, ICT, e-government and communication, CPA Livingstone Imbai. And our partner in this memorandum of understanding is Mr. Langat Kipkurui, the business development manager. And in this MOU, we are ensuring that there is creation of a framework for the provision of retail financial services, specifically short and medium-term loans to county government employees to readily access secure and affordable credit facilities in the shortest time possible with minimal requirements, which loans shall be recovered through a check-off system. And the final MOU for today, is between the county government of Kakamega and Kenya Fishing Industries Corporation. And this is going to be executed by our county executive committee member responsible for agriculture, fisheries, and cooperatives, Mr. Benjamin Andama. We are joined by our partners, Mr. Joseph Musila, the manager, production and business development, and Madam Harriet Akali, the corporation secretary. And this MOU is specifically for the development and operationalization of facilities and establishment for the exploitation of fisheries resources with the aim of improving trade of fish and other fish products in Kakamega County. Thank you very much.
A big round of applause to our county attorney. Thank you very much. I think the main objective of the MOU is just to set up a framework so that we can now have implementation of the specific areas. We've been joined by Governor Paul Otuoma, from Busia County. And because we were just finalized on the round table, I think I've already requested our keynote speaker to allow Governor Otuoma 2 minutes so that he can tell us something about Busia. You know, yesterday we were discussing the global issues, and it's an opportunity for Governor Otuoma, if you feel comfortable, uongee mambo Busia dakika mbili, so that at least the audience, yesterday they were a bit tensed, so today we are relaxed. Then after Governor Otuoma, we'll do our national anthem and the county anthem, and we break for lunch. Karibu, Governor Otuoma.
Good afternoon, all of you. Sorry, I was held up somewhere else, but I'll just take maybe a minute to say, for Busia, we are part and parcel of the Lake Region Economic Bloc, and I think we are in clusters. So some of the issues, even if I was not here, that you have talked about touch on Busia. We are concentrating on cotton, the apparel industry. We aim to do almost 40,000 acres of cotton. We already signed an MOU and partnership with Rivertex for uptake. We already have the ginery running, but it can be improved. We're also doing edible oils. We were told here yesterday, that Kenya is still importing peanuts to make peanut butter. We are importing oil. Yet we can do sunflower, we can do those peanuts, we can do soya, and we can be able to contribute towards lessening the country's burden on importing edible oils. We can also do palm oil, and we're already in partnership with some groups to grow palm oil crops, I think with our brothers and sisters from Homa Bay. We are also pioneering to be one of the biggest regions in rice production with our brothers here from Siaya through the Lower Nzoia irrigation scheme. And we are looking towards more millers, more value addition. If you visit other countries, you'll see there are a lot of products, byproducts that come from rice. In that, we have partnered with farmers through cooperatives to be able to at least do 20,000 acres of irrigated rice in our place. If you add on, I don't know what Siaya said, but if you add on Siaya, because we are within the same ecosystem, then it means that within the Lake Region Economic Bloc, we can be able to become one of the biggest rice producing areas, not just in Kenya, but in East and Central Africa, and there'll be opportunities there to also invest. We are also doing the export processing zone. As you have been told, Kenya is a gateway, and you cannot be a gateway if you are not playing that, becoming a logistics hub for the 500 million people that we are talking about. Busia, we are on the frontier between Kenya and Uganda, and we believe there is also business opportunity to come up with logistics hubs to invest in the export processing zone to be able to take care of that market. So in short, that's what I can say, but you are welcome. And once again, we thank you, Kakamega, for what you have done for the region, our sisters in Homa Bay, and what you are doing here today just goes towards showcasing what the Lake Region Economic Bloc can do in terms of investments. We will synergize. We don't need to duplicate what maybe one county is doing. We would rather synergize so that whoever comes, then you are looking at even a bigger market, a bigger infrastructure for all of us. So I just want to thank you once again, my brother Fernandez Baraza, with your team, for putting up this fantastic investment conference. Asanteni sana, Mungu awabariki. And may we implement these things that we have talked about here. Because, implementation is the key. You have said you have signed more MOUs than Homa Bay. That's what the Deputy Governor keeps on reminding us. Now we want to translate that into actionable areas so that we contribute towards making this region more prosperous. Asanteni sana, and Busia will play its role. Thank you. God bless all of you.
Asante makofi kwa Governor Busia. Thank you very much. I want to appreciate our keynote speaker today, Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga, who was represented very well by the minority leader in the National Assembly, Honorable Opio, and apigiwe makofi. I also want to appreciate in a special way my colleagues governors who are here and deputy governors for making sure that this investment conference is actually pitched at very high level. Apigiwe makofi. I want to appreciate in a special way our partners, continue networking with the business community, both local and international partners, because the essence of this investment conference is to network. Our networks is our net worth. And finally, I want to appreciate Masinde Muliro University once again for being a very good host. We have not signed an MOU really with Masinde Muliro University because Masinde Muliro University and Kakamega County, we are one and the same. We are collaborating to make sure that we complete the construction of Buhungu International Stadium, which will be a 40,000 capacity. And Masinde Muliro is also complementing by constructing a very big international swimming pool. And that's an area of hospitality that we are showcasing to our investors. Finally, I want to invite all the groups after the national anthem for lunch. I know you're a bit tired, energy levels I can see they're dropping a bit, but I want to appreciate your resilience because the session that we've just had was very exciting. And immediately after the national anthem, we'll have some media interview with the governors and the keynote speaker today. So let's all be upstanding for our national anthem, county anthem, and then we break for lunch. Thank you. Asanteni sana. We may now break for lunch, but just one more announcement. Tomorrow's closing ceremony will be determined by the time we start our session. And we have two guests. The Speaker of the National Assembly, Mheshimiwa Wetangula, will be here with us. And also the Speaker of the Senate will be here with us tomorrow. So mkuje mapema so that we can have an early closure, and I wish you a very good afternoon, na tuendelee kujenga taifa la Kenya na Kakamega County. Thank you very much.
Your Excellencies, I'll ask you to please stay behind for a group photo, but a bit of guidance. If you have a black tag like myself here, then your section for lunch is on this other side to the right. Then the others white, blue on the other side. So please be guided on the same. Please, thank you. Enjoy your lunch session. See you in the afternoon sessions also.
Okay, kidogo sawa. Okay, asante. For the date of this. So, I wanted to move kidogo. Just move close there side. Well, we are still here at the Masidi Mlilo University of Science and Technology, where the Kakamega International Conference, International Investment Conference is ongoing, and we just took over a short break for lunch break. But we do understand that these are the men behind this conference, and just maybe how so far so good. Various areas which we have signed the MOUs. In the area of agriculture, we want to make sure that the value chain is enhanced. Making sure that the dairy value chain is enhanced. We have specific MOUs we have signed in financial support with microcredit. So the specific MOUs are various, and what we are going to do is to make sure that our investment agency now follows through the MOU so that they are implementable. And one thing that we have agreed again as the Lake Region Economic Bloc governors, we are going to optimize utilization of our shared resources because as a region, we offer a very big market of over 20 million people. Yeah. Thank you. We do understand that this is a huge, and maybe just specifically, could you quickly mention 2 or 3 issues that you want to make sure that by the end of this, you want to achieve something out of it? Number one, in the area of health, we want to have MOUs to have a modern cancer center in Kakamega because cancer is one of the chronic illness. And once we have that MOU signed off and implemented, it's going to go a long way. In the area of agribusiness, we are looking at signing MOUs to operationalize our dairy plants, which is already complete. We are now looking at getting partners to operationalize the same. On the side of our level 6 hospital, which is going to be the biggest in the country, the 750 bed capacity, we are looking at signing MOUs with investors for purposes of equipping that facility and also operationalizing. Thank you so much. Today being the Agribusiness Day, I'll quickly talk to Governor Kenneth Lusaka, the governor of Bungoma, too. Maybe just quickly, will you tell us how important this is going to propel, especially the farming and the agriculture sector in this region?
Yeah, you know, this region is basically an agricultural sector, and one of the areas that we are looking at is value addition to what we have, revival of the sugar industry. Remember yesterday the president did mention looking at Nzoia, Mumias, Chemelil, Mohoroni, Soni, generally the sugar industry, because it has not been properly treated in the past. So like he said, we want to change management and see whether that can be, whether it can turn around the economy of this region, and of course cottage industries to add value to the products that we'll be having in this region.
Okay, thank you so much, Governor Orengo. And just in the interest of maybe the background lights, I would like us to move close to Dogo. Maybe you've been one of the proponents of devolution, and these are some of the products of devolution in the country. Do you think, are you happy? And if not, what do you think should be done to improve this?
I think I'm happy because we have shown that devolution can work. Even by having this international investment conference, the attendance, and in Homa Bay, which came before Kakamega, but the sheer amount of interest, we can see that devolution is not only working, but it has a future. It is the question of resources and national resources. And people should not talk about resources as if they belong to the national government. It is the constitution which has laid a basis of how those resources should be shared. Thirdly, I can mention in the region, the blue economy is very critical. The entire expanse of the 5 counties, and you can hear it's not just the 5 counties, because the fishing industry is here in Kakamega, fish processing. But the maritime economy in the lake is critical. There are landing sites with the cooperation of the national government. There are landing sites which are being built from Busia to Migori. There are also ports to assist maritime transport. So you're going to have a lot of ports coming up in Busia, in Siaya, in Kisumu, Homa Bay, and Migori. So overall, it is not an experiment, it is working, but we can be in a better place.
Thank you so much, and of course I'll quickly talk to Governor Toma before I wind up with the chief guest. Maybe in terms of trying to develop this, you've been very passionate about the issue to do with palm oil and production of edible oil in Busia. What do you think you are going to do? And then maybe what are the lessons that you have picked from this particular conference that do you think is going to help you improve that farming in Busia?
Thank you so much. You know, one of the major takeaways from these kind of conferences is interaction with the various knowledgeable sources and solution givers. You know, the corporate world, the finance world, the agricultural experts, the people who give us inputs, even as simple as tillage, opening up of land. What do we need to do to be able to accelerate those processes? And this is what we have picked up in this conference, that these are people that we can partner together to be able to promote some of those activities that we are already doing and giving us solutions where we are hampered, even in terms of expertise, like what do you really need to do so that you get it right, in terms of seeds, in terms of extension officers, capital, cooperatives that we are forming, aggregation, value addition, cottage industry, all that talk of it, somehow it has been around here, and you are able to partner with those to help us give solutions to the activities that we are going to be doing.
Thank you so much. Walai, karibu sana, chief guest. Maybe quickly,
You are here in the capacity of the former Prime Minister. Maybe what is the quickest message you give across before I ask you that question?
You know, really, as a friend of the evolution, I must recognize that the evolution in this country is still at its formative stages. And therefore, conferences such as this one are important in first and foremost showcasing what the evolution has been able to achieve so far, and more importantly, demonstrate what it's capable of achieving if its full potential is harnessed. So that's really why these conferences must be supported and should continue to happen across the country. Yeah.
The National Assembly has been a major stakeholder in making sure that devolution is strengthened. What do you think we are going to do as members of parliament in future to make sure that they don't go through challenges of delayed disbursement of monies and what have you?
You know, devolution has got very many enemies, some of them very powerful, yes, in very many quarters. And therefore, for us as parliament, we continue to fight to ensure that those who would wish to kill devolution don't succeed. Yes, and this we shall continue to do, right, without fear or fail.
Being politicians, it would be very unfortunate if I let you go without asking one political question. There's a discussion about the who will take over the mantle from Raila Odinga.
I'm not going there.
Okay, thank you so much. He has been sharper than what I thought I was, and therefore those are some of the things that you expect from this conference here, the Kakamega International Investment Conference that is have gone into day 2. We expect more discussions, more fruitful discussions in making sure that business is accelerated and strengthened for the future of the economy of the country. My name is Akes Mosame. On behalf of the NTV and the National Media crew that is here, stay tuned because we have more that's coming your way here at the Masinde Muliro University of Science and Technology in Kakamega County.